only got 2 players returning, so everybody else is first year. Recruiting was a difficult chore because we didn't get this job until June, where most people already decided where they wanted to go to school. So we look at this year as really a building year. You know, we've got some young talent, but it's pretty raw. And so it's really a teaching process this year, how to get these guys to play the way we want them to play.
One of Jim's focuses is building the players to work together. With a roster comprised of mostly first-year students, Jim is making sure they know what to expect coming into each practice.
If we are successful doing that, then we should be able to sneak into the playoffs.
Jim Barkley and David Joseph look to their returning players Etienne and Andre Bell to provide leadership for all the fresh faces coming into the season.
Faster game. There's not too many really bigs playing in college. They usually get scooped up to go somewhere else. A really good college team can play with some of the university teams. You've seen college teams meet university teams before. It all depends. Really good university teams like Carleton, they will beat university teams from the mid Division I schools from the U.S. I think our Canadian game is really underranked with Canadian players.
It looks like I'm going to have to make my way out to the Colts game one of these days. But getting back to what I was saying before, it really is so important to stay active, not just for your physical health, but for your mental health as well.
It's true. Not getting enough exercise can really mess with your head. I mean, it can make it really hard to sit in one place when you need to.
I know. Tell me about it. I think I ran into that problem the last time I was studying for our test.
Yeah, sure. That was a problem.
I swear to God, Jay, I'm telling you, there was a real problem. But we're getting off topic here again. Okay, so guys, let's check out our last story. Ivan Popov took a trip to Monkey Vault Training Center, a gym that specializes in training for the art of parkour. For those who don't know what parkour is, it's the physical discipline of overcoming any obstacle within one's path by adapting one's movements to the environment. I'm sure Ivan can explain it a little better through his story, so let's check it out.
My name's Dan. I started parkour about 6 years ago. I started alone, and it was pretty tough because all I had back then was the internet videos, and I would try to copy them and stuff like that. And so as I got more into parkour and I realized more people were starting off just like me alone, I decided that I was going to make a community for people and then eventually make a gym for people and stuff like that, so that people always have a place to go and they can always have someone to train with, so they're never, ever alone. Parkour is basically about getting from one point to another. Pretty much the fastest, quickest, and safest way possible. So let's pretend, there was a wall in front of you and you had to climb up and get to a rail and get over to get to somewhere else. Basically what we're doing is we're starting here. So where I'm sitting right now, this is point A, and I want to get to somewhere else, point B. And whatever's in my way, where it be walls, rails, ledges, people, lights, whatever, You have to find a way to overcome these obstacles and get to point B. It started in France, and what it was basically was a game that kids used to play. They used to climb on their schools, jump around, play ninja. Every kid does it. But every kid seems to stop at a certain point. You know, we all get to high school and, oh, it's too cool to climb on stuff, too cool to jump around. Well, these kids didn't stop. They kept climbing, they kept jumping, and they got better, and they got better, and they got better. And eventually, when they were in their 20s, they started making videos, and they put these videos up on the internet. And it was because of these videos that went on the internet that people like me and people like all over the world saw them. And yeah, we just started copying them. So I don't know if these kids ever thought, you know, they were going to start a whole big trend in the world, but they did just by putting those videos out. Basically no requirements to get started. Pretty much anyone can do parkour. The most important thing pretty much is a good attitude. If you have a good attitude, you can basically go far in parkour. If you have a crappy attitude, you're probably going to end off quitting. Why that is because parkour is very easy and very hard at the same time. It's really easy to pick up the first few things, and that's what makes people like parkour. They're like, oh, you know, these first few things are really easy. But then after maybe a month or two of training, you realize like, uh-oh, everything's getting hard now, and I'm either going to have to train a lot or quit. The best way to get started is to go on the internet, search up parkour for your city, your community, wherever you live, because there's groups in Toronto, Ajax, Oakville, wherever you are, there's a group training parkour. And the best thing is to connect with those people because they've tested out the tricks already, they've tested out the moves, and it takes the guessing game away from you, so you can start fast. You don't have to goof around outside. There's no risk of really getting hurt because these guys are going to show you stuff. After about a month of training, usually people have the basics a decent level. Like they can do all the vaults, they can do the beginning of wall climbs, stuff like that. And then it takes a little bit longer to go more advanced moves. And there's pretty much unlimited moves you can learn in parkour. It's still a sport where it's really new. So almost every week you'll see a new move on the internet somewhere around the world. Somebody created something new, and it just blows our minds. We got to go try it right away. A lot of the benefits that you get from parkour are mental. The main thing we see in here is pretty much confidence. People gain a lot of confidence because what happens is they walk in on their first day and they don't think they can do something. You know, oh yeah, it's the parkour video, but it's hard. Maybe I tried on my own, it's a little bit tough. Once we show them, okay, these first steps are easy, you can do it, it starts to build their confidence. They say like, hey, you know what, this stuff's not that hard. I can do these little things, and I can maybe do this, I can maybe do that. And what eventually this does in parkour is it makes you apply it to everything else in life. So let's say one day I finally get climb up a wall that's 12 feet, and I never did that before. What I can say is, wow, you know, I climbed up this wall 12 feet. What else have I done in my life, or what else can I do in my life that I thought wasn't possible before that's possible? Maybe do better in school, maybe, you know, fight less with your family, whatever. And it starts to make you look at things like, hey, everything in life is just an obstacle. And I can either avoid the obstacle, or I can look at the obstacle and say, okay, I want to overcome you. What are my options here with this obstacle? And let's get it done. So that's what it gives people the mindset to really go after life and really challenge obstacles and not take the easy way. Because a lot of people sit on their butts their whole life and take the easy way. Parkour shows you that the fun way or the hard way is sometimes the funnest way to do it.